All right, let's dive into a world you probably think you know, rice. Sure, we've all seen it, probably eaten it a million times. But trust me, there's a whole universe of history and science and straight-up deliciousness hiding in that little grain. Today, we're going to unpack it all from its humble origins to its place on our tables and in our cultures.
What's really striking is how something as simple as a grass seed, that's what rice is, after all, has become such a cornerstone of human civilization. We're talking about a food that sustains more than half the world's population.
More than half. That's mind-boggling. I knew rice was big, but that really puts it into perspective. And I'm guessing it's not just one type of rice feeding all those people, right?
You're absolutely right. When most people think of rice, they picture Asian rice, the Oryza sativa species. But what's fascinating is that African rice, Oryza glaberrima, has a completely separate story. It was domesticated independently in Africa thousands of years ago.
Oh, wow.
Think about that. 2 different continents, 2 different paths to cultivating this vital food source.
That's incredible. It's like rice is this universal language spoken in different dialects across the globe. And speaking of global, let's talk food. Because honestly, one of the most amazing things about rice is the sheer variety of dishes it's a part of.
It's true. Rice is like a blank canvas for culinary creativity. Each region, each culture, takes the simple ingredient and transforms it into something that reflects their unique traditions and flavors.
It's like a world tour on a plate.
Exactly.
We've got arancini from Italy, these amazing fried rice balls, and then bibimbap from Korea with all those vibrant colors and textures.
And from the Indian subcontinent, we have biryani, which is a symphony of spices and aromas, often cooked with meat or vegetables. Then there's jollof rice from West Africa, a dish that's full of life and spice, and really at the heart of so many celebrations and gatherings.
And who could forget paella from Spain? That iconic pan, the saffron-infused rice, the seafood. It's just a classic for a reason. What amazes me is how each region has really made rice their own.
It's the perfect example of how food connects us to history, culture, and even geography. The way rice is prepared and enjoyed tells a story about the people and the land it comes from.
Okay, so we've got history, we've got global impact. But let's get down to the nitty-gritty. I have to admit, I'm clueless when it comes to the science of rice itself.
Well, one of the fundamental things to understand about rice is that it's categorized by grain length: short, medium, and long. And while that might seem like a small detail, it actually has a huge impact on how the rice cooks up, how sticky it gets, and what dishes it's best suited for.
So that's why some rice is fluffy and separate, while others stick together in a big, happy clump.
Yeah.
Starting to connect the dots here.
Exactly. And for all you learners out there who love those little nuggets of knowledge, sticky rice isn't just for sushi. There are entire culinary traditions, especially in Asia, built around sticky rice. We're talking savory dumplings, sweet treats. The possibilities are endless.
See, this is what I love about these deep dives, uncovering all these fascinating details I never even thought to ask about. Now, I know rice is a staple food for a huge portion of the planet, so it must be packing some nutritional value, right?
You're right on the money. Rice is a fantastic source of carbohydrates, which give us energy, and it does contain some protein. It even offers a bit of micronutrients like manganese. However, there's a crucial point to understand. While rice is a great foundation for a meal, it's not a complete protein on its own.
Okay, so what does that mean exactly? And how does it affect people who rely on rice as a primary food source?
It means that rice doesn't have all the essential amino acids our bodies need to function properly. That's why a balanced diet is so important, especially in places where rice is a staple. It highlights the need to combine rice with other foods that provide those missing nutrients. And this brings us to a fascinating example: golden rice.
Golden rice. I've heard that name before, but I can't say I know the story. What makes it so special?
Golden rice is a truly compelling example of how science can potentially be harnessed to address nutritional needs. It's a genetically engineered variety of rice that's been designed to produce beta-carotene, which our bodies convert into vitamin A, the goal, to combat vitamin A deficiency, a serious problem in certain regions of the world.
So golden rice is kind of like rice with a built-in vitamin boost. That's incredible.
It is remarkable, but it's also essential to remember that there have been debates surrounding golden rice. It's a complex issue with various viewpoints to consider, especially when it comes to genetically modified foods and their potential impact.
It sounds like golden rice is a perfect example of how even something as seemingly basic as rice can be connected to these bigger conversations about food security, technology, and the choices we make about what we eat.
Absolutely. And those choices, especially on a global scale, tie directly into another major issue: climate change. Rice cultivation, and in particular the traditional flooded paddy method, has a significant impact on the environment.
Whoa, hold on. I'm all for delicious food, but how does growing rice contribute to climate change? I'm genuinely curious.
It all comes down to the tiny but mighty bacteria that live in those flooded rice paddies. When the paddies are flooded for extended periods, it creates an environment where certain bacteria, called methanogens, thrive. And guess what methanogens produce as a byproduct? Methane.
Wait, so are you telling me that these rice paddies are basically methane factories? And methane is a greenhouse gas, right? Fate.
Well, it's not quite that dramatic, but you've hit the nail on the head. The methane emissions from rice agriculture are a significant contributor to global warming, and that's a serious concern. But there's good news too.
Okay, I'm all ears. What are people doing to address this?
Scientists and farmers are working on innovative ways to make rice production more sustainable. They're developing new rice varieties that don't require constant flooding, as well as improving water management techniques. And of course, there's ongoing research to find rice varieties that naturally reduce methane emissions.
It's a complicated balancing act, isn't it? We need to feed a growing population, but we also need to protect our planet. And rice seems to be right at the heart of that challenge.
That's exactly right. And it leads to a crucial question for all of us. Can we continue to enjoy rice, this vital food source, while minimizing its impact on the environment? It's a question that's worth thinking about, especially as we delve deeper into the world of rice. And it's not just about the environmental impact. Rice is woven into the cultural fabric of societies around the world. Its influence goes far beyond just being a food source.
It's true. When you think about it, rice is tied to art, tradition, even spirituality in many cultures. I'm picturing those incredible rice terraces carved into the mountainsides of Southeast Asia, like the ones in Banaue, Philippines. They're not just feats of engineering, they're works of art that have sustained communities for centuries.
Precisely. Those terraces are a testament to human ingenuity and a deep understanding of how to work with nature to cultivate this essential crop. They represent a connection to the land and a legacy passed down through generations.
It makes me appreciate all the diverse ways rice is prepared and eaten around the world. We've talked about some of the iconic dishes, but there's just an endless amount of variety out there.
Absolutely. Rice can be the star of the show or a subtle supporting player. It can be steamed to fluffy perfection, ground into flour for noodles and dumplings, or even fermented to create unique flavors and textures.
I'm thinking about congee, that comforting rice porridge that's a staple across East and Southeast Asia. It can be savory or sweet, simple or elaborate, and there are so many regional variations. It's like a culinary chameleon, adapting to different tastes and traditions.
And let's not forget rice noodles. They're the foundation of so many beloved dishes. From Vietnamese pho with its fragrant broth to Thai pad Thai bursting with flavor, rice noodles come in all shapes and sizes, each adding a unique texture to the dishes they grace.
Speaking of noodles, I've got to mention Indonesian rice vermicelli, sometimes called mei foon. These super thin noodles are like delicate threads, perfect for soaking up flavorful sauces in stir fries or adding a subtle texture to soups.
And since we're on the topic of Indonesia, we can't leave out nasi goreng, their iconic fried rice dish. It's a symphony of flavors, often with shrimp paste, chicken, vegetables, and a fried egg on top. It's a perfect example of how rice can take center stage in a dish, bringing everything together.
So much amazing food. It's making me hungry just thinking about it. But, beyond all the deliciousness, there's a whole other side to rice that most people don't even consider the world of rice production and trade.
You're right. Rice is a major agricultural commodity, and its production and distribution have huge economic and social implications. We're talking about livelihoods, global markets, and food security on a massive scale.
I remember reading that India is one of the top rice exporters in the world, along with Thailand and Vietnam. It's incredible to think about the sheer volume of rice being cultivated and traded on a global level.
It's a complex system with a lot of moving parts, and while a good portion of the rice grown in those countries is consumed domestically, the export market plays a vital role in their economies. It's a delicate balance between meeting local needs and participating in the global trade of this essential commodity.
It's amazing to picture the journey rice takes from those vast rice paddies to our dinner plates. From the farmers who cultivate it, to the millers who process it, the shippers who transport it, and the cooks who transform it into delicious meals. It's a global effort.
And that journey is facing increasing challenges. Climate change, population growth, and changing dietary preferences are all impacting rice production and consumption patterns around the world. It's a dynamic system that's constantly adapting to new pressures.
We've already touched on the environmental impact of rice farming, but there are other hurdles to overcome. Water scarcity is a major concern in many rice-growing regions, and the development of new rice varieties that can withstand changing climate conditions is crucial for the future of rice production.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about the issue of food security. With so many people relying on rice as a staple food, ensuring a stable and sustainable supply is paramount. It's a complex issue that requires collaboration between governments, scientists, farmers, and consumers.
It's like this global puzzle, isn't it? All these interconnected pieces, agriculture, economics, the environment, and human needs, all coming together around this one tiny grain.
It really is. And understanding the multifaceted world of rice is essential for navigating the challenges and opportunities we face in the 21st century.
Wow, we've covered so much ground today. From the history of rice domestication to its global culinary reach, from the science behind its stickiness to its impact on the environment, it's been quite a journey. What stands out to you from everything we've discussed?
Well, I think what's most fascinating is how rice, this seemingly simple grain, is so deeply intertwined with the human experience. It's a lens through which we can understand history, culture, science, economics, and even the future of our planet.
I know. It's like we started with this tiny seed, and it's blossomed into this huge, interconnected web of knowledge. I'm starting to see rice in a whole new light.
Exactly. Rice is more than just a food. It's a symbol of sustenance, a source of cultural identity, and a key player in global issues like climate change and food security.
It's also been a great reminder that there's always more to learn, even about the things we think we know well. Who knew there was so much depth to a simple grain of rice?
Absolutely. And that's the beauty of being a lifelong learner. There's always something new to discover, a new connection to make, a new perspective to consider.
So for our listeners out there who've joined us on this rice-filled adventure, what are your takeaways? What sparked your curiosity? What will you explore further?
Perhaps this deep dive has inspired you to try a new rice dish, research sustainable farming practices, or even learn more about the fascinating world of rice genetics.
Whatever it is, keep that curiosity alive. The world of rice, like the world itself, is full of wonder and knowledge waiting to be discovered. And maybe your next deep dive will be into the history of spices, the art of fermentation, or the cultural significance of tea. The possibilities are endless.
So keep learning, keep questioning, and keep those minds hungry for knowledge.
And that's a wrap on this episode of The Deep Dive. Until next time, stay curious, keep exploring, and don't underestimate the power of a tiny grain of rice.